everyone, welcome back to Cowabunga Corner. In this episode, I am with a very dear friend, an amazing voice actor, very talented voice director, and so much more, Michael Sinterniklaas, who voiced Leonardo for the 4Kids Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle series. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me in your corner, Michele.
Oh.
Between this antique hockey trophy and a pillar.
Oh, no problem. So, how did you get into voice acting and just all this industry in general of entertainment?
I got into voice acting because I studied acting my whole life. I was a huge fan of animation, and then after going to a conservatory and studying classical theater, I was in North Carolina. There were auditions for anime, and I was like, whoa. I heard all the actors in town talking about going out for a cartoon called Riding Bean, and I was like, do you see Riding Bean? They're like, yeah, what's a Riding Bean? Is it a food? Is it a ride? And I was like, no, it's like this getaway driver anime about, like, it's really cool. This guy, he kind of seems like a tough guy without superpowers, but he's sort of bulletproof. I don't know. They're like, I don't know what you're talking about. You're a nerd. And I couldn't audition for that because it was limited to only like one agent's talent pool. Then they had a cattle call and brought people in for Bubblegum Crisis, which I'd also seen when I was in high school with my other nerdy friends. So I got to audition for that, I got cast, and that's how I started doing voiceover, not just acting. Before that I'd done TV and theater and film. And I was like blown away. And the first time I auditioned for something, and they did it to picture, I just begged the engineer to play back what they had done. He's like, yeah, no problem. And I saw my voice come out of an animated character, and my brain, a little piece of it like cranged out of my ear and like slid down the wall, and I was like, I need to do this again. And then Turtles, like, stop me if you've heard this before. Oh wait, you have heard this before, but for their sake, Leonardo was, Carrie had come in and auditioned for April and was like, oh, my voice coach just recommended me for a Ninja Turtles audition. You should totally be a Ninja Turtle. You'd be a great Ninja Turtle. I was like, oh, that sounds really cool, but yeah, I'm not invited to the audition. That would be weird. She's like, no, just go. You'd be a great Ninja Turtle. I was like, but it's at this place, and I hold auditions. I don't crash auditions. She's like, go. And I was like, but I'm a little under the weather. She goes, go or I'll kick your ass. And if you met her, she could. So I was like, okay, I'll go so that you don't kick my ass. And I go there, and I was totally unsmooth, and I crashed the audition, and then they cast me.
And you originally did not think you would be Leonardo, did you?
No. When I got in there, first of all, this is note for note how not to do anything with an acting career. I went there and was not smooth. Mike Pollock walked me in because I had actually discovered him in like some backstreet. Backstage, Backstreet Boys. He used to be a Backstreet Boy. Michael Pollock was the 6th Backstreet Boy. It's amazing. You should see those old videos if you can find them. Cut to old video. All right, Michael Pollock. I love Michael Pollock. He just started working on Pokemon, and he's like, I'll bring you in and get you past the gatekeeper. And we go in there, and Rita, who I later became friends with, but was potentially a scary receptionist, was like, what are you here for? Are you some strange person who's stalking people here? And I was like, no, I'm here to audition. What's your name? Michael? And she's like, Michael, and I was like, and Pollock goes, he's not expected. I was so not smooth. This is such an embarrassing, why am I even telling you? I'm choosing to tell you my embarrassing story, but all right, out with it. So I wait around, she looks at me like, the hell you are, but we're going to get security out here. She goes back and gets the talent coordinator, who's passed away now, George, wonderful, sweet man. And he comes out and goes, we're not expecting you. How did you hear about this audition? And I was like, well, all I could remember was Carrie said her acting coach, but not what her name was. So I went, voiceover coach. And he's like, oh, Miriam, which is not her name, because to this day I cannot remember her name. So he's like, oh, okay, well then, if, she was recommending people. Then he goes back, and I was like, okay, so she goes, well, we don't have any time left. We're like booked until 6. And I was like, okay. So I go to leave, and he goes, wait, but if you can come after 6, we could read you like at the end of the day. And I was like, okay. So I go, do you need me to bring anything? Like a headshot or a demo? Neither of which I had. Why did I suggest bringing something I didn't have? Why would you do that? Hey, would you like me to bring something I can't bring? Please don't say yes. He didn't say yes. He goes, no, it's fine. But because I asked, he went, oh, hold on a minute. Let me get you the copy. So he gets the sides, and he gives me Raph, I guess, was cast. He gave me Donnie, Mikey, and Leo. So I have like I go back to my studio, which is like 3 blocks away from 4Kids. I'm like 2 blocks away, 23rd, 25th, 2 blocks away, and I'm like looking it over, and I'm like, okay, Leonardo, it seems kind of like I don't know what to hold on to here. Like the description was literally, and it was on the website when they launched the show, everything you want in a hero and more. But what does that mean? Like to me, I would like my hero to fly. Doesn't do that. I want him to have like X-ray vision and like Superman powers, Batman personality, but Spider-Man personality. But like anyway, so I'm like, that's what I don't know what this means. I don't know what to do with this part. Man, Michelangelo, that's fun. I did a bunch of that. Thought I was funny. Donatello, nerdy. I'm like, okay. I'm the gadget guy, so I will be able to speak technical stuff with ease and correct where they're wrong and like add hacker stuff. And Donnie's my territory. That's my wheelhouse. That's where I'm gonna kill it. So I go in there, and they're like, great, we don't know who you are, but slate and go. And I was like, do you mind if let me do Leonardo first, because this is going to be my worst one. Let me just get it out of the way. And then they were like, I'm sorry, what? Subtext, did you just say you suck? Like, why? wait, we're here to, you're supposed to impress us. Why would you do that? And then I was like, oh no, I've said the wrong thing, so I can apologize and look dumb or go with it and try to pull out of this dive and make a joke. So I was like, yeah, to Lloyd Goldfine, I'm not really very talented. Can I get this over with as quickly and painlessly as possible? We'll all be better for it. And so he laughs, go for it. So I do it. I do Leonardo, and then immediately I'm apologizing for the performance. I'm like, see, I don't sound brave and hero-y and tough enough. And he goes, well, they're teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I was like, oh yeah, they don't have to be like a grown-up. Okay. So I did it again, and I sounded naturally pretty young, so he smiled and went, good, next. And then I was like, all right, I'm going to sit there. Mikey, wow, funny, good. And then Donatello, boom, Donatello was mine. And then I go to leave. Carol Weitzman, the producer, stops me in the hall and goes, let me just make sure I have your number, and scrawls it on some scrap of paper. Then I go to Anime Expo, have a whole thing. I come back, my voicemail is full, not uncommon, and I check it, and I get this call from 4Kids, and I call them back, and Carol Weitzman is like, oh, I'm glad you called me back. We almost had to recast. And I was like, huh? What are you talking about? And she's like, you're Leo. And I was like, what? And she goes, and now I can't speak. And she goes, by the way, how did you end up in my audition? Because no one knows who you are. Neither does Miriam. Again, her name is not Miriam. I don't know. I'm going to call her Vanderbeek now, which doesn't make any sense. But she has some like great woman name that's not Dutch, and it's not someone from Dawson's Creek. But her name still eludes me. I couldn't remember it then. I will not remember to the day I die, I'm sure. So she's like, no one knows who you are. How did you end up at my audition? And then I'm like, so you said I have the job, right? So if hypothetically I was to say that I crashed your audition, would that be? She's like, spit it out. And I was like, okay, I crashed your audition. I'm sorry. She's like, ha ha ha. I'm glad you did. Peter Laird handpicked you to be Leo, so. And I was like, well, not Donnie? Table flip. No.
Now, you were originally a Ninja Turtle fan before you became a turtle, right?
Yes, and one of my university professors, Felix Ivanov, who I think now teaches at Juilliard, he spoke 3 words of English, which was cool because it was a movement class. So we were all hanging on every sound and thing he did because he would communicate basically physically, and we're like, there was no zoning out in his class at all. But he would say, Cowabunga dudes, and let's blow this popsicle stand or something. And that was like all he could say. And he learned how to speak English watching the Ninja Turtles. And I was like, oh my God, that's amazing. We have something that we're fans of in common. And yeah, so like of course I'd watched it before. And when I was in North Carolina where I went to college, one of the guys who owned Jungle Rapids, or who's the manager of Jungle Rapids, which is like an arcade, go-kart, water thing, slides, mini golf, like fun center for kids of all ages, was apparently one of the guys in one of the suits.
Wow.
I think he was Leo, and I think his license plate said Leo on his car. And he was like kind of short, stuntman guy, and really, really cool. Then this guy, Charles, a guy I did theater with, he was one of the stuntmen in the first Turtles movie, and showed me all these movies they made behind the scenes. Have I told you about this? Where they would shoot all the American stuntmen because the Asian stuntmen didn't want to play with the American stuntman. They were like, we're way better than you, and we're just going to hang out and smoke cigarettes until we have to get up and do the stunts you can't do. But like, so they would make these like crappy kung fu films backstage. Like they would act them out and do these hilarious movies and then dub the voices in afterwards. And they were really funny, and you have to see one of these. Charles, oh, what's his name? Oh, he was like Foot Ninja and like all these guys.
That's
so
cool.
I've got to get in touch with them, and these videos were hilarious. There's a stupid video where the guy's training with his master, and like they have a chain on a pulley, and like his like crane thing, his Karate Kid like magic move, was like pulling on a chain, like milking a cow, and then in the end, like, and his master's secret was a wooden chair leg because it was laying around in one of the sound stages at Carolco or Screen Gems or whatever, or De Laurentiis, whatever it was called at the time, in Wilmington, and he was like, "This is my master's chair leg," and his master dies, and he's like, "Oh," he takes the chair leg, and then the bullies show up and take his chair leg, and they're playing like keep away with the chair leg. Is this a stupid story already? It's stupid, right? Anyone out there want to like yell at the screen? Can't hear anything. All right, I'll keep going. So, and they take it away. Then he like loses his mind, has to beat up all the bullies, and like ends up doing this like chain technique and like beating on their backs like so much Captain Kirk. It's weird. I don't know. But you've got to see one of these movies.
It sounds like something fun to see, definitely.
Yeah.
How did you first hear of Ninja Turtles?
The original Ninja Turtles?
Yes.
Because it was on TV. And no. I heard about it as a comic book when I was in high school. My friend Matt Yee, who's like a kung fu teacher now, and an acupuncturist. He can like kill, break, and then repair you. And actually, while I was going to acupuncture school, I was one of his practice dummies. No, couldn't have been massage school or something fun. No, it had to be like stick a needle in you school. And the big problem with that is if any of your friends take acupuncture, whatever he learned that day was what was wrong with me. So he'd be like, I think you might have menstrual cramps. I'm like, I'm pretty sure I don't have menstrual cramps. But that's what he would treat me for. And I was like, ow, I think you're inducing menstrual cramps. Anyway, but he's a great martial artist. And he lived in, where did Kevin and Peter start it all?
They were in Northampton, Maine area, up in there.
Yes. So he lived
East
near
Coast.
them. And he heard about it. He was like, some guys from where I'm from, North Maine.
Northampton, Dover, New Hampshire.
New Hampshire. It was New Hampshire.
New Hampshire, okay.
Yeah, but where in New Hampshire? Anyway, well, he lived near them. Was like, yeah, these guys. He also, at some point, his neighbor was the guy who played Salieri in Amadeus.
That's cool.
Oh my gosh. I know names when it's not Sunday. What is his name? Oh my God, F. Murray Abraham. F. Murray Abraham is his name. Anyway, so F. Murray Abraham, and then like Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird, like he kind of knew of them, and like these guys were starting some weird black and white comic book, and so I heard about it then, and was like, whoa, that's really weird, and it sort of seems kind of like a little bit daredevil-y. Wait a minute, and then that's why I first heard about it, and then like it sort of blew up, and I feel like. Okay, so we know that Ninja Turtles sort of redefined the whole like marketing, kids content, and licensing and merchandising. But I feel like it just sort of snuck in there. No one expected it to be anything. It was this ridiculous name, and then they licensed it to everyone, and it just exploded overnight.
And one of the main guys who helped do that was here at this convention this weekend. His name's Kevin Symbiota, and he runs Palladium RPG Books, and he had a booth in the dealer room. And he introduced Eastman and Laird to Mark Friedman of Search Licensing. Without him, we wouldn't have had any of the stuff we've had.
No, none of it.
So,
it just would have been like another comic book.
Yeah.
Probably.
Well, it did, sell out in 3 weeks on its own and everything.
Yeah,
so it was big in its own way, but it wouldn't have become...
Do you think it would become a TV show?
I don't think so. Not without Mark. Mark just pushed it right through and did a lot.
Well, the TV shows happen because it's to push merch, largely. Now,
before becoming a turtle, was Donnie your favorite turtle from the beginning?
I feel like it's typically the Mikey show. So, like, I resonated with Mikey sort of, but I always I always rooted for Donnie the most because I grew up in Europe, right, and in London when I went to school. It was really cool to be good at something. To be smart was cool. So if like you'd meet some new kid would come to school, maybe you'd be like, "Whoa, he or she's really smart. I want to get to know that person. That person's cool. They know so much. They're so clever." Then when I moved to the States, it was like the opposite. It was not cool to be smart or to try hard or to be passionate. It was cool to be like laid back, chill, and like not even try. And I was like, I don't understand this. Like working hard should be rewarded, not like doing nothing. So like that was a total like mess with my head.
Yeah.
And so like my values were always like being good at something, being smart is like really cool. So I thought Donnie was like the cool one because he was smart, but that was my weirdo European values.
Hey, it works.
Yeah.
And Donnie is my second favorite turtle. So
I thought Leo.
Sorry.
I don't even write. It's because I had to ride a scooter, isn't it?
Yeah, you know that's it.
I'll never get over that. I'll never get over that.
Now, what was it like going in for your first time of filming? Was that the first time you met the others who work on the show? Or?
Yeah, I was the new kid at 4 Kids when I did Leo for Turtles. Everyone else had worked on other stuff. I had never. They all knew each other, and I was like, hey guys. Also, they had like their own shorthand, and like they were not uncomfortable being there. I had crashed the audition, only done anime at that point, never done prelay, and never worked at 4 Kids with these people, whatever. So we're in a room together, and they were like messing around, joking, and I was like, shouldn't we be like serious right now? We're supposed to work. This director, this famous director who was a Transformer, a Pony, a G.I. Joe, like she was a misfit and gem. She's like super famous, and like we should be like on our best behavior. Why are you messing around? Stop it, you know? So I was completely geeky, like didn't know what I was doing, and I thought I was going to be replaced. I was like, they made the wrong call. I should have been Donnie. I don't understand why I'm Leonardo. I'm not the leader. So the whole first season I thought I was going to be replaced.
That's a scary feeling with a job.
Yeah, and I didn't know anyone there, and I was like, trying my best to be my best behavior.
Can you tell our viewers about Ninja Please? That came up in the first season, right?
Along the same lines, we're recording. At this point, Sue Blue, our director, is on a phone patch calling in from LA, and Leo's got a little solo, and they're like, all right, we're gonna pick it up on page 13 from second half of the page. Leo's monologue on. So I'm like trying to do it, and it was always like Wayne and Frank like messing around. And they kept trying to make me laugh, and I was laughing, and I was like trying not to laugh. They're like, and we're rolling, and I was like, don't laugh, don't let her hear you laughing when she says rolling. But she heard nothing instead. So she's like, what's the problem over there? Are we rolling, or what's going on? I was like, I'm sorry, it was me, I'm ready. Because John Dixon, the amazing engineer, was never wrong. He was never like, technical problem. It was always like, I am one with the computer. So it was totally my fault. And they kept making me crack up, and I couldn't stop, and they were like throwing pencils. They used to put like a pencil on the ends of the music stand, and just like go pew, which is a very unpredictable way to launch a pencil. And it was always like lead flying at your eyes, and I was like, ah. So I can't go on, I can't read, and I'm laughing, and I'm like trying not to get poked in the eye. And then Sue gets like kind of upset. She's like, what is going on here? We're rolling. Are you ready? And I was like, I'm sorry, it's me, and I don't want to rat out my friends. And they won't stop. So finally I was like, Ninja Please, to Michelangelo, and they were like, what? And then it became a thing. So Ninja Please was born out of necessity because I was looking like a jerk in front of Sue Blue, my hero.
So basically, Michelangelo and Raphael, who messes Leonardo up in the show all the time as it is, was messing you up.
Life imitates art. Meanwhile, Donatello's doing crosswords. Literally, like he would do crosswords because he's a brainy guy. I was always like trying to get everyone to behave because I'm the leader. Mikey's always screwing around, and Raph's always screwing around with Mikey. It couldn't be, yeah.
It just really fit the personalities.
Absolutely.
So, when did you first start meeting up with fans after becoming the voice of Leo? What was your first con and experience when it got out?
No. I had done some anime conventions before that. I hadn't done like mixed media conventions before doing Turtles, but like I was directing Berserk when I auditioned Berserk the anime for this is like 10 years ago. Before when I auditioned for Turtles, and then like a year later, like it released. So I was doing appearances, but then finally I got to add, I've done this anime and I've directed this anime, because that's how I talk on panels. No, it's not. And then I finally got to add doing Leonardo, but I don't remember my first one. Do you?
I know for sure that my first time seeing you was in October 2003 for Anime Next.
A day that will live in infamy. Yeah. Anime Next, for sure. I remember doing Anime Next and meeting Criddle. And I remember being
not at the first con.
Not the first one, no.
No, I had my friend Stacy with me that time. Mm-hmm. And that was when you saw me in my turtle costume.
Yeah, that blew my mind. It was a great costume. And your Mikey voice was so good, I didn't know if you were a boy or a girl. It's a compliment.
Yay!
Yay! You can't tell when I wait. No. It's because you're in costume and your voice was amazing. And I was like, Wayne better look out because you sound better.
And I completely came up as a surprise covered up, so you guys didn't see me till I was at the
Yeah,
table.
that blew my mind. I'd seen like some like nice attempts at cosplay, but like full foam turtle suit, mind blown. Totally.
That was a lot of fun those days and going to all the different cons. Now, have you ever done an event with all 4 of you turtles together?
I know I did it with Mac and Raffy. What? Raph and Mikey, and Paul and like Dan Green. But I don't know if Sam's been around with all of the
We
guys.
did Vegas, but
Oh,
not with. But Greg wasn't there for that.
Yeah, I always feel like it's been one man out.
Yeah. I've never seen a full cast like what we went to this summer with the original voice cast where they had all of them.
Yeah,
We've never
Universal
seen
City
that for the
Walk,
4
that was
kids. We need to see an event like that. The fans will come.
You think?
Yeah.
That'd be fun. I'd love to
Yeah.
do with those guys. I had so much fun. Honestly, like, you know, like not having any brothers growing up, it was really cool to have brothers for like 6 years, shoulder to shoulder.
Yeah. Yeah, and very good friends overall, and
Yeah.
then bam, the show's gone. Now, with the show, was it hard when you first got in and started going through it to accept the new style, realizing that your turtles were going to be a lot different than the show that you originally?
Honestly, no. Like the show that I had watched was the show that I knew, but because our show was a little more true to the comics, a little more. Like it wasn't full.
Yeah, Shredder was a bit of a throw off. So
Yeah, but like, yeah, the world is that. But I was really glad that we were getting a little more like teenage than like and ninja. I said less teenage, more ninja, which I thought was cool.
really, really strong storylines. Season 4 took a complete turn to be the Leonardo season.
Oh, like emo Leo?
Just completely, yeah, that was Dark Leonardo. Was that season any different for the others with preparing, or was it something easy to just go into?
For me, it wasn't easy. For them, I think it was a lot less weird, but I felt like Leonardo was totally changing. We had a lot of like staffing things too. I talked to the directors, like the old one, and then like Chuck, and then Roy coming in about like what's going on here. And I felt like at one point they were pushing me to sound so different, like so unrecognizably Leo, that it wouldn't make any sense, and I didn't want that to happen. We re-recorded a lot of that stuff. I don't remember, like maybe 3 times. There were episodes we redid over and over again to completely change the approach to how he was changing. I love the idea that he was so afraid of losing his family that he got really hardcore. Like, and he saw any messing around as like time taken away from training and another opportunity to be destroyed by the Shredder and our enemies. So like, it was justified, and it all came out of this place of love, weirdly, but it made him sort of jerk. It was a tricky thing to try to like manifest but I remember at one point in the beginning they went full retard, if you will, like the complete other direction, and we were going, it was mean Leo, and I was like, he's not mean, like what's justifying this, right, is that I care about you, and if you're gonna mess around, like I'm gonna like discipline you because we need to be in better shape. The only reason we didn't get killed last time was because the writer wrote in some like, whoo, time froze, and like we were rescued, you know? Like,
Yeah.
It wasn't us. We didn't save our own lives. We were dead. And everyone else was like, hey, we made it out of that one. And Leo was like, no, we didn't.
Yeah.
It was like the writer, you know what I mean? Like not us. So I thought that was a really interesting idea. And I'm glad I think what we settled on made sense. But the first iteration of that, which no one ever heard, thankfully, was him just being sort of like an a-hole to all his brothers, which I didn't like. Because that's not what was motivating that behavior.
Now, you go straight from having this serious Leo, you have the Lost season, which was only 13 episodes, but then we go into the very light, completely backtracking all the character growth we just had, fast forward. What was your thoughts on that change?
When we saw that happen, we were like, oh, there's some interesting new elements. Then we started reading the scripts and we were like, this seems really kidsy. And honestly, what I loved about our show was that it got a little bit hardcore. I know it got kind of convoluted at one point, which is why they cut it short, that Lost season.
Yeah.
But, and it got really confusing. We were all like, wait, which guy is this? Now there's like a Men in Black guy and he's doing what? Wait, he's our friend or he's not? Like Bishop was really weird. Like cool voice, Zen Mansley, but like really confusing. I feel like, okay, so at the premiere, I don't know, I'm saying too much here, but it's just us in a corner. There was, at the premiere for the first episode of The Turtles, and like when until I saw you when you showed me the head in Toronto, when I saw fire. When I met Peter Laird again, Norman Grosfeld, and all the like the 4Kids people were, I mean, the premiere, like, they let us go, but it's really for like all the suits and the money people, right? So they had it at the place where they do all the Tribeca Film Festival, like on Canal, and what the hell's the name of Tribeca Film Festival? And they screened it in a theater. And they did a curtain speech, and they were like, we're very excited about this because the first hurdle is like redefine marketing for kids merchandise, blah blah blah, money, 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 and I feel like they weren't making as much as they had the first time around, so they tried to make it a little more kidsy like the first one, thinking it might attract a younger audience and that would generate more money. I think that's what it was about. I don't know, but I always valued that. I think the value in our iteration was that it was a little more like the comic book. It was a little more hardcore, a lot more about like discipline and hard work, and I thought the brotherhood bond was really strong because of that. I liked that it was darker and more grown up, and I met a lot of people who were closer to my age that were like, "Oh, it's so cool! It's like a hardcore Turtles now." Did you like Fast Forward?
I enjoyed it in the later, but at the beginning, I felt like all the character growth we just went through
was like thrown
gone.
out. Yeah, that was weird to go full like cold turkey.
But then it seemed like they started to pick it up, not as hard as it was in seasons 3, 4, and 5, but they picked it up a bit to where we still had some character growth coming in. So it was a little disappointing losing everything we watched the show build up into.
Right.
And one fast moment, fast forward.
I see what you did there. Yeah, but I'll say this. It was really weird. I think structurally, in terms of the way that iteration was set up, to be with a bunch of aliens so we don't have to hide anymore takes a huge thing away from it.
It does.
No more trench coats and crazy fedoras, because that totally disguises like man-sized turtle mutants.
With the Turtle Show being over, a lot of us Turtle fans would love to see you back in some iteration of Ninja Turtles for one thing or another, even if you're not Leonardo, just as a cameo. Would that be something you would be interested in if you ever got the chance with Nickelodeon and stuff?
I'd totally love to. I gotta say, like, I think Nickelodeon is doing it right. Like, they are really caring about this property, and they're putting a lot of thought into it. Whether you agree or don't disagree with the direction it's going, like, they're really pushing and trying and like working really, really hard. I met a lot of the production team. They studied martial arts, did all these things, but like, I don't feel like it's ever gotten quite the deliberate, like, nurturing push that it's getting now, and that is amazing. And I would love to be a part of it. I loved being a part of it the first time. It meant a lot to me, and it was really amazing to meet so many people that it meant so much to. I've met people who met at conventions because they came to see me and are now married because they met at conventions because they came to meet me. I'm not saying like I am some kind of ninja cupid, but like, it's a part of people's lives that people really care about, and that's an honor to be a part of that. I would love to be a part of the Turtles again. Whatever.
It would be awesome to have you back.
Thanks.
Now, what are you working on right now? Is there anything that's going to be coming up?
I just recorded XCOM for consoles, and by now you will have perhaps already seen on Nickelodeon Peter Rabbit, Beatrix Potter's Peter Rabbit that I'm voice directing.
Oh, cool.
And the Berserk, the aforementioned Berserk that I was directing 10 years ago when I auditioned for Ninja Turtles, is now out as a trilogy of movies. So we're doing that. I'm not sure what's going to be released by then. And I'm a Care Bear. That's so weird. I didn't realize Scotty McNeil was a Care Bear too. We were both Care Bears.
Which Care Bear?
I'm Funshine. He was Grumpy Bear. But yeah, I'm Funshine.
That's just, wow.
It's really fun. Wow. And our head writer is one of the writers on My Little Ponies.
That's awesome.
It's magic.
Yeah.
And, she actually wrote the Derpy stuff too. And then to unwrite it, and she's amazing. Amy Keating-Rogers, she's amazing. A film I directed that was nominated for a Best Animated Feature Oscar, A Cat in Paris. I'm doing, by the next time when this is released, I will have done another movie with them called The Painting. Yeah, it's a beautiful French movie. It's going to be in theaters and stuff and home video. But Cat in Paris is now in stores, and it's really, really cool. And it's a really small, like, company that we're trying to do, like, really great work. It's like totally great art house animation that we're trying to do a really good job on. We had Angelica Houston in Cat in Paris, and Matthew Modine, and Marcia Gay Harden, also an Oscar winner. Amazing. And on the film before that, Mia and the Magoo. I'm really proud of this stuff. It's beautiful. We had Whoopi Goldberg and James Woods and Matthew Modine in that one as well, and Wallace Shawn. Inconceivable. And those are now like in Targets and stuff. I'm psyched.
You got a lot coming up.
I got a lot coming up. I've been busy, and that's why I look like this. Good problem to have.
Yeah, especially in the entertainment industry, because it's either down or going, and right now you're going. So, yay! We would love to have you.
Hopefully by then, I'm growing my hair out, by the way. I feel like I have to make an apology for my hockey hair, because I'm doing this movie, and Debbie Harry, Blondie, is going to play my mother in this movie, and that's why I'm growing my hair out, so I can be like a rocker in his 30s who still lives with his mom.
That sounds fun. Woo!
Except living with this crazy hair. But
can't wait to see that. Now, we'd love to have you back in Cowabunga Corner sometime for another follow-up interview, because I got a ton of more questions on different areas of Ninja Turtles that I know the people out there will be interested in.
All right.
And we'll touch some Dean Venture and stuff like that in the future. We're out of time for right now. It was awesome having you on the show. Thank you so much. Could you say Cowabunga as Leonardo for the fans?
Cowabunga! Better?
Fun. Thank you.
I'm gonna drink my Fago Pop.
Thank you for watching, and we'll catch you guys next time here on Cowabunga Corner. Cowabunga!